But how much money you make?
It's a lot of money.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Money, it's the commodity that makes the world move, and it's the one thing that is always on our mind. Do I have enough money for rent? Do I have enough money for my savings account? Can I afford this meal? These are questions that are constantly on our mind every day. Some of us choose to take actions on these questions. We go into our spreadsheets and we try to map out every cent of where our money goes, or we may read books to gain a better understanding of the financial world, but with all this knowledge at our disposal and the spreadsheets we have, we often act out of emotion. I had a recent incident where I let my emotions get the best of me when it came to money. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was looking to upgrade to the Sony a7C to a full frame camera, but I decided not to get it, and it was Amazon Prime Day the day I decided not to get it, and I saw these Beats headphones that were on sale. At the time, I was looking to upgrade my workout headphones, but it wasn't a need, it was more so a want. And I saw the Beat headphones on sale and I decided to just go ahead and purchase it. And I made that purchase because primarily I missed out on the full frame camera, and I felt like, oh, let me get a pair of headphones to make me feel better. And when I purchased the headphones, I definitely started to question why I made that purchase. And it wasn't until I read the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel that I fully got a better understanding of why I made those purchases and why other people think about the money the way they do. I wanted to share 4 lessons I got from the book: the role of luck and fate, getting wealthy versus staying wealthy, room for error, and the role of tails in our life. Number 1, the role of luck and fate in our life. When you look at a successful person, what are the common attributes you normally link their success to? It's usually hard work, great work ethic, grit, determination. But what if there's one attribute that doesn't get talked about enough, and that is the role of luck? I mean, why luck? When you think of luck, you usually think of the guy that has done nothing and it just kind of gifted an opportunity that came their way. But in the book, in the Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel says that luck plays a big role into how successful people get to their success. In the book, Housel gives Bill Gates as an example of luck. Gates went to a small school in Seattle, Washington, and it was one of the only high schools to have funding or access to a computer. That computer allowed Gates to have access to hardware that some of the highest ranking professionals never had, and at such an early age, Gates was able to act on that. And what's even crazier is that Gates' high school was such a small school relative to the state of Washington and even relative to the United States. The sheer luck that Gates was born into that situation to have access to those computers is great. Gates himself even acknowledges that if there was no computer, there would probably never be any Microsoft. Gates was dealt the hand of luck, but just in that same situation, one of his closest friends was dealt the hand of fate. Gates' friend, who was in the same circle as Paul Allen, died in a mountaineering accident a day before his graduation. When we look at successful people around us, yes, the hard work and the work ethic all played a role into their success, but we can't discredit the role luck has in their success as well. Number 2, getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. When I was little, I presumed people with wealth had big houses, fancy sports cars, the ability to take vacations whenever they wanted, the best clothes, and something as trivial as being able to get a video game whenever they wanted. As I got older, my perception of wealth changed as I started to read more financial books such as Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and I Will Teach You to Be Rich. All those books changed my perception of what I thought wealth was. But when I look back at my own life, yes, I had a couple of those things that we had described about before, but I never truly felt inside that we were truly wealthy. And that's because a lot of those items and a lot of those things give the illusion of being rich. And being rich is easy because it's all tied down to your current income and what you can currently buy. What's harder to do is staying wealthy. Building wealth inherently has a survival mindset to it. In its simplest form, building wealth is spending less than what you have, and it's creating a gap between what you could do and what you choose to do. Because of that, wealth is hidden while being rich is open to the public eye. How many millionaires or billionaires you know that call into the Dave Ramsey show, that write vlogs, that all drive the normal car, wear the normal clothes, live in the normal neighborhood? That is because they're building wealth. Housel laid out a simple formula on how to build wealth on your own, and it's something that has actually helped me a lot in terms of stopping myself from buying things and really thinking about what I'm about to buy. And the formula is just simply laid out as spend less so you desire less, and when you desire less, you care less of what other people think about you. Number 3, creating room for error. I remember when I was a little child, whenever I got any sort of money, whether it be $10, $5, I was looking immediately on how to spend it on, whether it was a video game, snacks, anything I could get my hands on. I was looking to spend that money immediately. And it wasn't until I got older that I understood the importance of saving money and building a bit of a buffer zone so that hopefully maybe you can buy a bigger item, or maybe you can just use that money to save. And I know personally, when I have that buffer, when in terms of building a rainy day fund, having a lot of money in my savings or checkings account, I feel a lot better about myself, and there's a peace of mind that comes with having that buffer. And I think back now, when I was a child, in our head we come up with these best case scenarios of whenever we chose to justify spending on something knowing we should probably save that money. We always think, oh, if I spend this, I'll be left with $1,500 in my checking or savings account, so I should be okay for the next month. But what we fail to realize is that you can plot out all these points on an Excel file or on a piece of paper, but what you can emotionally endure compared to what you can figuratively endure is actually very massive. And that's what Housel states is the importance of having room for error, is to be able to emotionally endure that cost, or that suffocating cost of having a big financial cost come out under you and basically kind of shake up your life. Number 4, the role of tails in your life. Similar to the first point, I think tails and the first point can kind of be summed up into one point, but I wanted to break it down into another point because I think tails, this idea of tails events actually plays a big role into the success of people. And when I look at a tails event, I actually like to think about it in terms of YouTube people and YouTubers that are very successful, YouTubers that have millions of subscribers like Ali Abdaal and KBHD. I always really like to see what was their most popular video. And when I look at their most popular video, it kind of gives an insight of, okay, what video struck out to them, what video basically broke the algorithm and got them really famous. But what's even more interesting is actually looking at their really old videos, like their first uploaded videos, and seeing how much time it took them or how many videos it took them to get to a point where they actually got to that most popular video where it had millions and billions of views. And I think that's the role of tails has in our lives. It's the idea of doing something so mundane and so regularly, and seeing no, I guess in a sense, exponential progress, but knowing that if you keep doing this same activity, that eventually down the line something greater will come and break your way. And the way you can look at this in terms of a financial perspective is, let's say a eventual recession hits, or a recession hits right now. Are you going to be the person that will continually invest into the stock market or invest in the index fund while everyone else is panicking and trying to take their money out? And Housel says the person that can maintain the steady rate and just continue doing what they're doing will eventually come out on the other side as the greater good or the greater success. And finally, my last point, if you continue on the path of steady and slow improvement, you never know where life will take you. Thanks again for watching. Bye.